Dust is in my eyes, my blood is on the ground. Quiet little chuckle and the shuffling of the boots of the coward that shot me down. He turns toward the sunrise and I hear him softly say, I guess you've met your macho man as the colors fade to gray.
Howdy, partners. Dust and Blood is a rabble-rousing, rootin'-tootin', bronco-bustin' podcast not suitable for the ears of young'uns. Take a gander at the content warnings and listen with care.
Welcome to Dust and Blood, a narrative play podcast set in the wild, weird fantasy West. I'm Blake, your GM, and our players are Keith Curtis as Jasper Graves, Corinne Hill as Myra Sting, Zach Parker as Moz Copernicus Pryor, and Gail Parker as Bonesaw.
Last time on Dust and Blood, Moz met Titavillius, the devil behind his contract, and our heroes teamed up with Sheriff Catalina to bring Jesse Blackburn to justice.
Catalina rushes over and joins all of you, surrounding Jesse, who's on the ground tied up in the rope. All right. This is okay. All right. We're going to take him out of the town. We're going to take him to the Boxcar for now. We're going to keep him secure for a little bit. And she rubs the bridge of her nose. Jesse's just sitting there on the ground, smiling up a storm.
Ugh, gross.
With his finger done shot off.
Yeah, his finger is still bleeding pretty bad, but he's holding it. It's very much a kind of predator smile. It's not a smile of happiness, it is a smile of defiance and anger.
Bonesaw, still tall in his rage form with eyes glowing red, says, "Do we have to take him to the boxcar immediately? Or is there time for a little revenge?"
No. As much as I would love to have a little bit of revenge on this bastard. She walks over and pulls his gun off of him, and he has a knife on him and a couple of bullets and tosses them on the ground. All right, I'll take him out. Can one of you please go to Duke's house, wake him up, and have him come out and meet me? And could somebody please go to my office? I have a couple of sets of padlocks that I need from there so I can get everything secure.
I can go fetch Duke.
I'll go get the padlocks.
Myra's gonna actually look through the stuff to see if she can find her oil of silence.
Okay. Is she going to fully search him as well?
Oh yeah, she's gonna get all up in his business.
Okay. You find one of his little lighters that he has, a ring on his hand that has a small shield on it, a potion with some red liquid in it, a little burnt out stone that you recognize as an ion torch, a smoke stick, a potion of cure light wounds, and a potion of cure serious wounds. And, of course, your oil of silence.
Hey! There it is. She pulls it out and she shows it in front of him and is like, haha. She's being a little childish. She's like, got it back, you sucker. And then she shows to Catalina and says, if it means anything at this point, this is one of my items that he stole. And she pockets it.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. All right.
Ooh, Moz is whispering something to the GM.
Catalina's going to drag Jesse up and is going to start frog marching him out towards the north side of town. Is Myra going with anybody in particular? It is late at night.
She may just go to bed. Heads back to the inn and she's just gonna sleep.
Bonesaw's actually going to go into the house nearby and see if the lady that Jesse shot in the leg needs any healing. I know Catalina did a medicine check, but maybe just to get her stable. He'll push open the door of Jesse's area and look inside to see if the lady's still there. Hello?
You see the woman, she's sitting on the same bench that she was on. Her leg is bandaged up a little. She's softly crying.
Oh, sorry, dear. Let me help with that. Did that nasty, mean, awful person... You know what? Here. He's gonna just take out his wand of Cure Light Wounds and tap her a few times.
Quickly, she's healed up and she's sniveling and says, "Thank you. I appreciate it."
What's your name?
My name is Zu Fen.
Lovely to meet you. I'm Bonesaw. You must have seen Jesse do all sorts of terrible things, right?
No, he's always been good to me. He's always been wonderful, and he's been a wonderful person. He was just a little bit angry, and that's it.
Well, sure, he's always nice to you, but you've seen him do things to other people, right? Murders and things?
She bites her lip and says, No, of course not. He's a good person. He would never hurt anybody. He's a good person.
Listen, you don't have to lie to me. I already know he's horrible. It's no surprise.
She gulps and says, "If you're going to be talking about that way about Mr. Blackburn, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. I don't want you to get into any trouble with Mr. Blackburn or his family."
What does he have over you?
Nothing. What are you talking about? He doesn't hold anything over me.
Listen, you might not have seen, we just spanked his ass out there. He's all wrapped in ropes. We're putting him in a train car. He's going to get killed in a few days, probably. I don't know how the law works, but he's not a danger to you anymore. So, if you could just, I don't know. I have a vague notion the law needs people to say things about what the bad things that you've seen. What is it? A witness? Could you be a witness?
Roll diplomacy for me.
Maybe Myra should have stayed.
I got a 14.
She just shakes her head and says, I'm sorry. I don't believe I can be of any help to you. And I'm certain that there's nothing that you can do to help yourself. I'm sorry.
Well, that's not ominous at all. All right, well, if you think of anything or you feel like you might actually be in danger still, then you can come see me or any of my friends, and we'll help.
She nods and goes into one of the back rooms and slams the door, and you hear a tunk lock.
Well, that was fruitful. I guess everybody else is gone, so Bonesaw will wander back to the inn.
Moz. Gonna go grab stuff from the jail cell?
Yeah.
You walk into the jail cell area, and you see the knoll from before is sitting in the cell, head bandaged up.
Is it not exploded?
From what it looks like, repairs have begun on it. For right now, there seems to be some sort of network of strings across it.
Interesting.
You also notice that the knoll is shackled, one leg to the bars.
Got it. Moz is going to grab the padlock, but not head immediately back to the sheriff. He's instead going to go a little bit south of town, where there's all the rocks and some cover, just out of sight from everyone, and is going to find a suitable rock, get a little bit of rope from his bag, and using his feet to craft wondrous items, I guess? I mean, it's nothing really fancy. He's also going to cast a little bit of magic and create a false padlock just out of a rock and a rope and make it look accurate. Is there a way that the illusion can sort of interact with the lock itself? Just displace it one way or another?
To some degree, but
Okay.
anybody who interacts with the major image gets a will save to disbelieve.
Okay. In that case, Moz is just going to be insistent on being the one to lock the backside of the train car. And he'll head back to Sheriff Cat.
Jasper, you get directions to Duke Van Horn's house, which you find out is a little bit to the east of town. It is a quaint little ranch home. It has a little bit of land, but not a bunch. It appears to be just the home of a person who lives within their means. Of course, it being 1 o'clock at night, everything is closed down and quiet.
Jasper is going to throw Smokey's reins around a fence post or something outside, walk up to the door, knock on it, pound on it rather loudly, and say, Mr. Van Horn, it's Jasper Graves. I'm sorry to interrupt you at this time of night, but I'm afraid the sheriff needs your attention. There's a small matter of having arrested Jesse Blackburn. Mr. Van Horn, are you awake?
There's a minute or two before the door opens and you see Duke Van Horn, who is obviously it's not a full suit, but he does have just some basic clothes, suspenders that are off to the side, rubbing his eyes and cleaning his glasses. Jasper, did you say Sheriff Catalina arrested Jesse Blackburn?
Yes, on one count of accused murder and several counts of suspected murder. Also, I believe, assaulting a woman and theft and probably some other things.
Oh, hell, she's probably halfway out of her mind with worry right now.
Yes, she's got him at the temporary jail that's been set up in the railroad car.
I know where that is. Would you like to come back with me, or...?
Absolutely, I'll ride out with you. I believe that some of my friends are with her. We've all been deputized.
Are you feeling all right? You seem different.
Different how?
It's nothing. I'm certain that I'm just a bit tired. Give me a moment to get prepared, and I will be right out.
Absolutely. I'll wait out here on Smokey.
He's going to close the door, and about 3 minutes later, he comes out. He got dressed remarkably fast, and he's carrying that same just absolutely massive cane sword that he had before, and runs alongside you as you both make your way north. Moz, you arrive first.
Okay.
It's an old wooden two-door boxcar, one set of sliding doors on each side, designed for hauling cattle or something. This is a small spur off of the main rail. It looks like they were backing a train car up and they ran it off of the end of the track, and it basically buried half of the boxcar into the dirt, and the main trucks on the one side just drove into the ground and basically made it incredibly difficult to move. And at this point, it's so old that the trucks that are still on the rails are all rusted. Sheriff Catalina, you see she has locked up Jesse and is leaning by the door, shotgun in hand, looking around. You see she's lit a couple of lanterns around the area. As you approach, she pulls the gun up and is like, "Who's that?" "Oh.
Just me, Sheriff.
Sorry.
Hold your horses.
Did you get the padlock?"
I got it right here.
Alright, here, I'll get it locked up.
I got it. Just hand me the key, will you?
Make a bluff check.
What are you playing at?
18. Let me roll for her. She looks at you and pulls the key out and hands it to you.
You know, funny thing is, as Moz is just walking around to lock it up, funny thing about horses, I believe this one owes me a replacement. You think he'll have any issues if I walk down and go and pick up one of him prized horses? I seem to be missing one.
Oh, Tumble.
I suppose. I think most of his are going to be a little large for you, but it's possible. You can go ahead and go and take a look.
Alright. Moz is going to make a very loud clicking sound and return the key to the sheriff. I might just go and browse his catalog. Have a good night, Sheriff.
She takes the key from you and holds it in your hand just for a minute. Like, she doesn't pull it away immediately. She just looks at you. You know, what we've done here tonight is a pretty big thing.
He deserves a lot worse than to be locked away.
I don't disagree with you there. But it ain't up to us.
No, it ain't. No, it ain't, Sheriff. I bid you adieu.
I would recommend you go and get a good, long night's sleep, Mr. Pryor. We'll deal with these things in the morning, through the right channels.
I think sleep sounds good. Have a good night.
She takes the key from you. About this time, Jasper, Riding Smokey, and Duke come running up just as you're leaving.
Howdy, Moz. Sheriff, done brought Mr. Van Horn like what you asked.
Duke gives a nod to Moz and Sheriff Cadden says, "Thank you for coming and getting me, Jasper. I hear you had a bit of an exciting night, Cat." And Sheriff Catalina just says, "Please don't start with me, Duke. I am going to be bringing down hell upon this here town, enough as it is, and if I don't follow every single step by the book, well, I'm already dead, but if one damn thing happens to this man, I am worried about what's going to happen to this town, and it is going to be my fault. And everyone dies here. I would have done nothing to help this town."
What?
We did kick the hornet's nest.
Duke has been walking over at this point and puts a hand on Catalina's shoulder and says, "Sheriff, I know that you enjoy thinking the worst case scenario in all cases, but guarantee that's not going to happen. You have Jesse here, and we're going to watch over him, and nothing is going to happen. Isn't that right?" And Sheriff Cat kind of nods. She is looking directly at Moz.
I'm stressed.
Sheriff, you reckon there's going to be some kind of ruckus here tonight?
I sure as hell hope not, but rather be prepared just in case. Sheriff Cat has, at this point, locked one side, and Moz locked the other side.
Well, I'm plumb tuckered, and that's no lie. And I'd like nothing more than to have myself a good lie down and snooze. But after years and years and years in the desert, I can pretty much lie down on a bed of cactus and sleep just fine as, nice comfy feather bed. If you think there might be some sort of altercation here tonight, I'd be mighty willing to take my bedroll and chuck it underneath the train wheels or something there and be sleeping real nearby in case you need another gun.
Sheriff Catalina shakes her head and says, "No, I don't think that's going to be necessary. Thank you, though. Jasper, do come find me in the morning, though, just to make sure that I'm not sitting on the ground with a bullet in my gut and that Duke isn't thrown over some cactus. I think we will have another set of eyes out here tonight anyway."
All right, then. Evening to you, Sheriff. Evening, Mr. Van Horn.
Good evening.
And, come on, Smokey. And Jasper will make his way back to their rooms.
All right, Moz is also going back south towards town.
Bonesaw, getting back to the inn, will just kind of knock softly on Myra's door and see if she's still awake.
We hear her kind of mumble like, "Come in." And she's actually not asleep. She's lying in bed. She has like a rock in her hand. She's laying down and she's kind of throwing it up and catching it, throwing it up and catching it, throwing it up and catching it. And you can tell that she's doing that particularly in her right hand. And she's just kind of preoccupied with that and looks over to Bonesaw and says, "They get him into that boxcar or wherever it is they're keeping him."
As far as I know, but I trust Sheriff Cat to handle it. I thought I'd check in on you. It's been a lot this evening, and he pulls out a little bottle and says, "I actually made you something. I thought you might have trouble sleeping after." He kind of puts it down on the nightstand. That should help.
Myra stops throwing the rock and she kind of sits up and looks at it and says, "Oh, thank you, Bonesaw. I may need that. Is it immediate or, is it gonna knock me out right out, or is it,
It will help you fall asleep very quickly, but it will only keep you asleep for an hour. It's supposed to kind of ease you into it, and then your body should take over."
She goes to take a swig, and then she offers some to Bonesaw.
"Oh, I'm all right. But if you'd like, I could stay for the first hour."
She kind of nods and goes, Yeah, I'd like that." And she puts the bottle down, puts the rock to the side of the bed, and then she kind of settles in to look at the ceiling, and she's going to wait for it to take hold.
I feel bad, I shouldn't, but asking you to do the shooting during the show, I mean, that's your big thing and your thing that you're good at, and asking you to be bad at it in front of the town, I should have thought.
No.
And then the trigger finger, I don't know.
No, Bonesaw, I enjoyed that moment very much. Did you see that shot? See the look on his face? That was worth every penny, and she does a little chef's kiss with her left hand.
You're really something else. Where'd you learn to shoot like that?
She gets a little quiet, and she moves around a little bit nervously. Well, it's kind of in the family. My dad was a really good shot and taught me a lot, and I did a lot of shooting, a lot of practice, and so I think it's come in handy, but I gotta admit, and then she kind of looks at her hand and says, I don't know if this is a sign of, I need to stop. I don't know if I should just kind of let this be as a mark.
Why would you ever think that?
I've done some really bad things, Bonesaw, and I think she's a little broken and a little freaked out. She thought she was gonna die, and so I think some tears well up in her eyes a little bit, and she kind of speaks as if she's like at a confessional. Well, you know how the railroad gets its land?
Not really.
Well, people sell it, or they leave it. And me and my dad ran off a bunch of people from their land. Me and my dad terrorized a bunch of innocent people so that the railroad, the Diamondbacks, could get land. And it was only until it was far too late that I decided to stop and change what I was doing.
Bonesaw sits for a long moment in silence. And then finally he asks, why did you do that?
I don't know. Because it was my dad, it was my family. We just did it, and it didn't matter who we hurt, what we did. It was all about, just working for ourselves and serving ourselves, and it was only until literally the people we killed, the people we terrorized, literally coming back from the grave seeking their vengeance, to understand just how awful it was for me to not see what we were doing. One of the reasons I'm a Revenant Ranger is...
You're a what?
Oh. Forget I said anything.
No, sorry, I can't just...
Damn it. One of my jobs and actually, this was actually one of the things that got me out of doing kind of the awful dirty work my dad was doing, but my job was to kill revenants that were out for the railroad. And at first it was just a kind of a meaningless title. It was just I was good at hunting ghosts and revenants. And there were a lot more than what ever should be. And it's all because of the Diamondbacks and my dad and even myself. And I ended up... So, picture this. You're a kid and you hurt a bunch of people and you think it's okay, and then you kill them again. And then you realize everything you thought that was okay truly wasn't. And then all of a sudden you have nowhere to turn to because you're surrounded by awful people. And you realize you're just as much of a scumbag as they are. I was really good at shooting, and The one thing I was able to take away from this was my shooting, and I was able to get out of there, and I've been trying to forget everything since then. One of the reasons why I wanted to help the lady, you know, our first world person, our Fey lady,
Westlin,
because I'm not driving out any more people. I'm not doing it. I'd rather burn all the railroads down than let that happen again.
where was your father? Did he change too?
Good night, Bonesaw.
Oh, and it's taking effect. All right. Good night. I'll be over here then. And he sits next to the bed and is just sort of lost in thought, mulling over all the things that Myra said, watching over her to make sure that she's okay while she's drugged sleeping.
Moz, roll me a stealth check.
I really ought to put more points into stealth.
13. You seem to accomplish the task that you're doing in town.
Fantastic.
It takes you a little bit longer than you maybe were expecting, just because there was a bit of commotion this evening, and, well, what do you expect?
Yeah.
But eventually, as you start to make your way north again, everybody who's in town starts to hear alarm bells going up.
What did you do?
Moz.
As the clock tower is ablaze.
The clock tower.
It's a distraction.
You best hope we don't find out about this. You best hope.
I'm counting on it.
Bonesaw, Myra, and Jasper, who at this point has returned, you all hear the alarm bells going up in town.
Consarn blankety heck, what the hell is it now?
Has it been an hour so that Myra can be roused?
Yes.
Oh god, what now?
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
It wasn't me.
Oh my god, is it Jessie?
I don't know.
She bolts out of bed. She's like a speed demon, and she's instantly like down the stairs, out the door, and she's like, "Where's the Boxcar?"
Bonesaw grabs Myra's, I guess, her bag, her kit, whatever she carries normally.
Jasper is gonna clumsily step into his suspenders, take a look out the window, make sure it's not a none of my problem, as in none of my business, and see if he can see what the ruckus might be and whether or not he needs to put on a shirt and all that kind of stuff.
The clock tower is very much in flames. It is going up like so much dry tinder. And it appears that the warehouse for the grindstone mining is also on fire. A couple of different fires have cropped up in town.
Is any of our stuff near that?
Good question.
Because the cart's more like Midtown, right?
Yeah, but something that is probably well known among all of you is that this town is very much wood and tar roofs and so much kindling.
This poor town. I am so sorry. This entire town.
We didn't sleep enough to get spells, huh?
Nope.
Oh, shit.
Everybody's running on empty right now. So what is everybody in town doing?
Bonesaw's following Myra wherever she's going.
First she thinks it's Jessie, but then she looks out to see all the fires, and she's gonna try to help put some of the fires out, or at least go to the buildings and let them know, like, hey, is there anybody in here? Get out. Is there a fire department there?
There isn't a fire department, but you do see a couple of the people who live in town are making their way to the water tower and are starting a bucket brigade to try and douse the flame.
Okay.
The buildings that are currently on fire are not occupied.
Okay, she's gonna help.
Okay.
Jasper's gonna finish getting dressed. He's not in a terrible hurry, but he's not dawdling either. Is thinking, man, I am so bone tired. And I'm sure glad Sheriff Catalina saw through that lie about not needing a feather bed. He looks longingly at the bed he's leaving behind, goes down, gets on Smokey, and says, "Come on, girl, let's go do some damn heroics." Right off toward the water tower.
Moz, you approach the boxcar at some distance. Are you bringing the horse straight up?
I would have stashed it prior to.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a perception check for me.
Shit. Ooh.
24. As you approach, you notice a couple of things. It appears that Duke Van Horn and Catalina have left. They're no longer around.
Okay.
They rush back to try and help out with the fire. You also, out of the corner of your eye, you notice a tall figure crouched on a tree some distance away. It appears to be watching and has seen you approach.
Is it making any move to stop me?
No, but you know it is watching you.
Well, if that's the case... Oh, boy. Moz is just gonna tip his hat knowingly in the direction of the figure and proceed to the back of the cart where he put the false lock.
As you look at the false lock that you had placed there, you see it sitting on the ground.
Damn.
And Sheriff Catalina's manacles have been placed on the door.
Ain't that a shame? What is the boxcar made out of?
It is wood, and it is kind of crappy, rotted wood. It's not like fully rotted through. It would take an amount of strength to punch through, but it could be done.
What if it was set on fire?
It would burn pretty hotly.
Well, there's no turning back now. Little bit of work around here. I believe I did a similar thing last time, heating up a spike, but using the spell Ear-Piercing Scream. I am going to target the side of the boxcar and convert the damage to fire damage and just try and burn my way through the boxcar, which does not make any sounds.
Okay. You cast this and whoa, the wall begins to burn as it does. What is your CMD?
17.
As soon as you cast this, approximately 6 seconds later, you suddenly feel something wrap around your legs. And you fall on the ground.
Damn it! Now what'd you do that for?
You see somebody that you saw in a wanted poster approaching.
Guy. Okay.
A tall, jackal-headed person. They have a cape on. They have just whipped you around the legs and tripped you onto the ground. And they are holding a revolver pointed at you. Looking at them up close, you can see how they got the name, the Bronze Jackal. Their entire face and head and ears appear to be made. They're not flesh and blood, but almost pure metal. But it is an articulated metal. You can see them breathing and they are snarling, and you can see these metal teeth, and their eyes are glowing red. And he snarls down at you. I'm afraid that I cannot let you release this prisoner.
Well, trust me, he's not being released too damn long.
What do you mean?
Jesse Blackburn's no ally of mine. He deserves justice, not as sitting in some boxcar for his lawyer and daddy to come and rescue him.
You mean to do justice to this person?
And he ain't gonna get it unless I go in there.
The Bronze Jackal leans down. Make a diplomacy check for me.
Ooh, I don't think that is one of my strong suits either.
10. The Bronze Jackal considers for a second and leans down and says, Do you swear upon your soul, upon your ruh, that you will make sure that this Blackburn will die?
With every fiber in my being.
Bronze Jackal stands up. Then you'd best hurry. Sheriff Catalina will not be long.
You mind if you can buy me a few extra seconds if it comes down to it?
I'm afraid I cannot.
I understand.
That would require turning against the sheriff, which I cannot do.
Well, I bid you farewell then. And Moz is gonna break, or at least try and break down the boxcar and get Jesse Blackburn out of there.
Make a strength check for me.
My -1 strength. 13.
Between the rotted nature of it and the fire, you're able to knock it down.
Jesse! Stand up! I have some words with you.
That would be a bit difficult now, wouldn't it? I'm a little bit tied up at the moment.
I'm sure you can hop just fine. Get moving.
And why should I?
Because if you don't, I'll leave you in here to burn.
He gets a smile across his face. What makes you think, for 1 second, that I'm any more afraid of this fire than you are, friend?
I'm sure there's a lot of fire in your future, but you got a chance to get out. Either you come with me, or I end you right here and right now.
Very well. And he stands up and starts moving towards you.
How restricted is his movement with the rope that's still on him?
Perception check or a knowledge engineering check again, I guess. 22. You can tell, as you look at him, he's not tied up anymore. He hasn't been tied up for a while.
Well, if that's the case, before he can do anything, I'm gonna cast animate rope. There's still a rope nearby, right? He was tied up beforehand, wasn't he?
He has the barest scraps of rope kind of draped around him. The majority of the rope he has left in the corner.
Great. I'm gonna cast animate rope, because apparently he got out of it, which is really bad.
Before you cast that, we're gonna roll some initiative.
Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it.
Fantastic!
Would it be meta to say that I'd like Bonesaw to send Goiter to check on Jesse while Bonesaw is following Myra?
If you genuinely think that Bonesaw would do it,
I really think I would. There are a lot of cases where Bonesaw has split attention and he sends Goiter to, like, take care of the wagon or check on such and such thing over there. To be clear, Goiter would not be able to tell Bonesaw anything about, like, Moz or what Moz is up to. He could just get, like, a bad feeling.
yeah, it's probably gonna be a while until Goiter gets there. Okay, so Jesse, seeing you notice that he is no longer tied up, you see him pull a small shiv, a small splinter of wood. You see as he pushes past you, dashes out and around.
Bye, Felicia.
I will say the horse was supposed to be stashed a good distance behind the tree line outside of town.
That's fine. He's not necessarily running for the horse, he's just running.
Okay.
Bronze Jackal's turn. He had returned to his tree and is going to be dashing. Moz, you're up.
Well, I can't really do anything unless I have him tied up or unconscious, so I'll have to spend time to grab the rope and then get as far as I can outside the boxcar.
Your speed is 15.
Yeah.
You basically can get to the rope and out of the boxcar.
Okay.
Jesse is gonna make a perception check. Oof. You see he just starts running north. Full sprint, 120 feet.
Okay.
The Bronze Jackal is following him at 120 feet as well.
If that's the case, I'm going to peel off to the horse that I had stashed and just follow them on horseback. It'll be slower initially, but there's no way I'm going to catch up without that.
Okay. You're probably gonna have to dash 120 feet to get to it. And that's gonna take you 2 turns.
Yeah.
It is pitch black out right now.
Yeah. That dark vision.
Make a perception check or a survival check to track them.
Okay. Ooh!
Perception?
Yeah.
Okay. You can tell where they're at. You're able to track them. It's gonna be 2 more turns until you reach them.
Okay.
Jesse is staying just barely ahead of the Bronze Jackal as you start to ride up on the horse. It's about this time, once everybody is long gone away from the boxcar, that Goiter shows up. He sees the empty boxcar. Hello. Goes over, climbs up, plays with the lock a little. And Bonesaw, you'd start to get some worried feelings from Goiter.
Okay. We'll deal with those when we get to Bonesaw.
Yeah. Moz,
Huh?
I'm gonna need you to make a ride check because this horse is much bigger than you are used to riding.
Yeah.
14? Okay. You manage to stay on as you're approaching. This is gonna be round 5.
Okay.
Jesse is keeping ahead, still running forward. Bronze Jackal is still running ahead, and it's to your turn. You are on the horse, you are within range.
I know that Jesse has a really high CMD, and just trying to throw the rope and do animate rope is gonna probably not work. But what I do have, since he's just full on sprinting, is I have a spell called Grease. I'm gonna shoot Grease in front of Jesse Blackburn to try and trip him up.
Okay.
Oh.
Gross! Did you hear that sound?
I did.
All right, we'll put it there.
Perfect.
You're gonna put it there?
Mwah.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, which brings us around to Jesse's turn. Jesse needs to make a DC 15 reflex save. It's gonna be a 29.
Yeah, it doesn't
Damn
look
it.
like it.
He's gonna move another 120 feet. The Bronze Jackal falls back just a little bit because they have to go around the grease.
Hey, get on!
Bronze Jackal's gonna run over and use the whip on the saddle horn and pull himself up on.
Nice.
You say Bronze Jackal, I hear Batman.
They're in the same club.
That bastard's not getting away this time.
You are going to be able to catch up to Jesse, and he's going to stop running finally, and he's gonna catch his breath on the ground.
This doesn't end well for you, Jesse. What's the point in fighting?
It's always a point in fighting, my friend. Never know when it's gonna turn in your favor. Bronze Jackal hops down off the horse. So what's it gonna be? Gonna shoot a man in cold blood?
Oh, I'm not letting you get off that easy.
He's going to rush and try to pull you off.
Great.
Rolling his CMB. There's going to be a 24 for him to pull you off.
Great.
You are on the ground. You are not restrained, and that's all he can do on his turn. Bronze Jackal has his gun out. He's actually going to shoot at Jesse. First one hits, second one misses. The bullet hits, and as it impacts, it doesn't actually seem to pass through Jesse. And in fact, you don't even see a spurt of blood. It just seems like it was a massive punch that slammed into Jesse.
Got it.
Moz, it's your turn. You are on the ground, prone.
I guess I'll stand up. I'm willing to bet that the horse is a lot more vulnerable than Jesse is, so I'm going to cast Animate Rope and try and tie up the horse's legs. Not going anywhere.
Okay.
That's a way to do it.
Smart.
Okay, go ahead and cast Animate Rope. Make a ranged touch attack. 14. That's gonna hit the horse. It is just a horse.
Got it.
It starts to panic. I'm gonna add it to the initiative order because it's no longer necessarily acting on your turn.
Ma's gonna fight everybody. Every horse, every cactus.
I just need him alone!
Okay. The horse is now entangled. Jesse's seeing that the horse is entangled. Do you have a weapon on you, Moz?
I have a revolver and a machete.
He is going to roll his combat maneuver to try and steal the revolver. He has to make 22. Because you get a +5 because it's on your person.
Got it.
It's a 24.
Oh my god.
He is
Ain't
now
that a shame?
armed with a revolver. And Jesse's gonna hold the gun at you, Moz, and say, "No, I ain't playing anymore. You're gonna let me get on this horse, and you too, or else I shoot this fucking rat. And I'm going to get out of here."
Die in hell, Jesse.
The Bronze Jackal is going to take his own gun and toss it to you, Moz.
I don't need a gun!
Do you catch the gun or do you let it go?
I drop it. That's a waste. I literally do like negative damage. No!
The Bronze Jackal's like, this is the fucking worst team project ever.
He tosses you the gun, and as he does so, he also takes his whip to wrap it around Jesse's legs. However, Jesse dodges out of the way of the trip attack. The horse is going to try and burst the ropes. 15, that does not do anything. The horse moves that far. Moz.
Okay. we're gonna do blistering invective and try and demoralize the horse and Jesse.
Okay.
I think I need to make an intimidate check. Woo! 32!
Oh, nice!
You're not getting away, you bastard.
Your beard is stupid.
32 definitely is going to demoralize the horse.
It's 5 damage. And I believe they're set on fire, both of them. I think they need to do a reflex saving throw. DC is 16.
Okay, yeah, he's definitely demoralized, but he passes, so he's not on fire, but he does take 5 points of damage. The horse takes 5 points of damage and is on fire and is fully panicking.
That poor horse has gone through hell. This is the same horse that I sold him, by the way.
Of course. Jesse smiles and says, "Boy, you don't know what you have unleashed." And he is going to turn his gun and he is going to unload it on you.
Oh,
Oh, good God.
Oh,
that's a crit?
no.
He looks at you,
Lord.
fans the hammer as he unloads on you. That's going to be 8, 24, 32, 42 points of damage.
4 attacks?
Well, not gonna last another one of those. I'm down to 3 hit points. Thank God I took some health potions before this.
And he 5-foot steps and says, "I suggest you put down any of your weapons, Mr. Jackal. You want me to be the one that got away, don't you? Chase after me. Don't think your friend here is gonna survive another round with me." And that is the end of his turn. Bronze Jackal, since he tossed you his gun, is going to run to the other side. They're going to do a full round attack with the whip.
Fucking finally.
Nat 1 and a hit. You see the whip go out towards Jesse, and Jesse just captures it right in the hand that has a finger shot off. And he takes it and just rips it out of the Jackal's hand and tosses it a distance away. It landed right there. The horse, it's still on fire, moving away. The rope around its legs is also burning. Moz, you're up.
The only really play I have left is to use the last fireball I have at my disposal from my necklace and just torch Jesse and the horse. So Moz is gonna say, "If I can't get you, all the perdition will follow in your wake."
That fucking obliterates the horse. You throw this fireball and it's just... What's the reflex save on it?
It's either 16 or 17.
Okay, we'll say 17.
God.
Oh. So he's gonna take half damage from that. He looks at the Bronze Jackal. He looks at Moz, and he says, "Send my regards to those below. I'll be there soon, but not as soon as you." And he is going to pull the trigger on you, Moz. He's full round attacking. The first shot is at you, Moz.
That's enough to knock me out for sure.
And just as you're going down, you hear another shot and then a click of an empty chamber.
Oh, there we go.
You are unconscious at -2.
Yeah.
Back in town, Myra, Jasper, and Bonesaw. You guys have been putting out the fire for about 20 minutes, and you see Catalina and Duke helping with all of the fire and flames.
Bonesaw, he has a little bit of magic in store. He has some scrolls and like some things that he can mix up. So he would have cast Fly and Ant Haul on probably himself, strength-wise, so that he could carry a bunch of water very quickly from one place to the next to dump it. And he's just looking around as the fire's tapping down like, "Look how heroic we were! Look at what a good job we did! This town is just, they must love us!"
Yeah, I think we, I don't know. I've got a bad feeling this has to do with us. And
I'd like to turn to Sheriff Catalina at some point when the fires are starting to die down and say,
Sheriff, what's perdition like on an exciting night?
Sheriff Cat is covered in soot. Her gun is in the dirt some distance away because she was running back, and says, Since you all got into town, we have not had a relaxing evening.
Well, I'd like to take some kind of credit for that, but wait a second. You're here, Duke's here. Who's guarding Jesse?
I saw the bronze jackal. They were over there, and I might be an outlaw, but frankly, I trust them more than most of the people in town. Certainly not. And at this point, you see an older gentleman, very much dressed up, even though it is late at night. He got fully dressed up in a three-piece suit, though it is rumpled and a bit soot-stained. He has a very square jaw. Balding, but his hair is kind of slicked back. Very angular nose, very patrician. His mouth is drawn in a tight line, and he says, Sheriff Catalina, what are you doing? You are neglecting your duties to this town, are you not? No, Edgar, I'm not neglecting my duties. I'm trying to do my damn job. Oh, doing your job. You're talking with this newcomer who's caused so much trouble in our town, and you expect me to not think you're slacking off on your duties as sheriff.
Hold on there, just a second.
I'm sorry, I didn't see buckets in your hand, feller. What have you been doing?
Yeah, I was gonna say, Myra's also, turning on him, and I guess we form a shadow of, 3 giant people behind Sheriff Catalina, the fuck you say?
He looks at all of you, this resting face of just oh, you're talking to me now?
Oh, buddy.
Excuse me, I am the mayor of this town, and I've been organizing the relief effort at Bonnet.
You think we give 2 shits who you are?
He looks like you just slapped him. And then he turns up his nose and says, Of course, ruffians like you would not be expected to understand what a politician's job is. Now, Catalina, if you're too busy, and it's about this time, Bonesaw, that you start to get warning flashes from Goiter.
Bonesaw, who's about ready to rip off the mayor's head, suddenly turns distracted. Lucky for him. Oh, that's strange. That's a bit more than indigestion, I think.
Bonesaw, what's wrong?
Goiter's sending me some weird feelings. I sent him to check on Jesse.
Understood.
Oh no. That fucking rat, what did he do?
Sorry, what?
Sheriff Cat isn't even listening. She is just dashing north. She grabs her gun as she's running.
Bonesaw does the 2 fingers to the 2 eyes looking at the mayor and says, We'll be back for you another time. Count on it. He storms off.
Sheriff Catalina is running north.
And we're sprinting after her, I assume.
Myra actually stays behind.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
Jasper will ride after, but as he's mounting up, he'll say, Mayor, don't throw your back out organizing your committees. I'm going to go check on something like a man of action. Yeah, Smokey, yeah!
Yeah! Bonesaw, who can only move 20 feet behind Cat and Jasper on his horse, is like, I'll catch up!
Oh, crap. There goes my super exit. Hold on. Circle back around and try and lend a hand down to Bonesaw. Get him up on the back of Smokey.
You're going to let me ride your special horse?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so touched. Smokey, may I?
Smokey, is it okay with you? Yeah, she says it's okay.
Wonderful. Bonesaw gets up behind. He definitely puts both arms around you and squeezes really tight, maybe more so than is necessary.
Good thing I don't need to breathe too deep.
Sorry, I'm rolling other stuff to see how things are going down.
Oh, no worries.
The battle.
The secret fight we're not privy to.
Yeah. Moz, roll 1d20 for me, please.
Yeah. Oof. Is that a death saving throw?
Not quite. Roll until you hit a 10 or you've rolled 14 times. Or you're at minus 14 points.
Done.
Okay. Perfect. You're stable but unconscious.
Got it.
You hear the vague sounds of a fight going on above you. You all arrive to find the boxcar engulfed in flame. Sheriff Catalina, no. The hell did that Stadolrato do? Hey, no. Your friend, that little Moz, handed me a fake padlock. I thought he was just trying to be cute earlier, but, well...
What are you trying to say?
Oh, good God, we got frog justice going on.
But Moz wouldn't do that!
I saw it with my own eyes.
Jasper's gonna swivel around in the saddle, look at Bones, and say, seriously?
You think that after all the work we put in to catch Jesse, Moz would sneak around behind our backs and let him out? Just let him free?
You of all people.
I think something else might have been going on.
What, do you mean like Jesse made him do it?
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean, Bonesaw.
See, Sheriff, Moz didn't do it on his own. It was all Jesse. Jesse's the bad guy here.
Well, I hope you're right. Can any of you track? See if we can find him?
Hell yes. I can track a fly through a hurricane. All right, let me get my peepers going. And I'm going to start at the Boxcar, get down off of Smokey, and read the ground.
Give me a survival check, please.
21, plus 4 to track, so it's 25.
Fantastic. You quite easily can see several set of tracks in the dirt running towards the north.
All right, what happened here is that, going by the overlap in here, Jesse hit the ground. Judging by the distance between those tracks, he was a-running, and there's another feller after him. I don't think I could identify the bronze jackal by his tracks, eh?
No.
There was another fellow running after him. Moz's tracks are here too, but they ain't headed towards, after Jesse. They're headed in the opposite direction, towards the tree line. But, Jesse, definitely in that direction.
I'll send Goiter to check the trees. We can follow Jesse's tracks.
I think so. Might have to get down off of Smokey every now and then to see if I can pick him up if we lose him.
All right. Goiter, go look for Moz. Go find Moz. Go on.
Shoo.
Goiter rushes away and manages to find the horse apples in the tree line and gains an idea of what happened, and you all will be able to catch up. Moz, I need you to take 5 more points of damage, please.
Okay. At what point am I, like, Toastios?
Your negative constitution.
So if your constitution is 15, then negative 15.
Yeah, so that'd be 4 points away from certain death.
Yeah.
Are you shitting me?
Nah.
And then roll one more 1d20 roll, please.
Jesse was definitely like, you better stop fighting me or I'm gonna shoot him again. The jackal was like, make me, and then he shot him again.
Yeah, that is not a stable thing. Do I keep going?
Nope, somebody stabilizes you.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh.
That lovely bronze jackal.
At this point, Duke stayed behind. Myra stayed behind. It's only you and Catalina, Bonesaw and Jasper on Smokey. Sheriff Cat is going to go beside you as you are tracking. You go about 20 minutes north of where you're at. Sheriff Cat next to you slips and falls onto the ground. What the fuck put grease out here? And you keep going north. You eventually come across signs of a battle. It's a low grasslands area, and you smell burning. You smell gunpowder. You haven't seen any bodies yet.
I'm going to call out, hold off. Nobody approach too closely. Let me take a look first. I want you disturbing no tracks. While Bonesaw is doing their perception check, I would like to dismount and approach the site carefully and try and read what I can without disturbing things.
Also give me a perception check.
All right, perception. 28.
Okay, Jasper, you see it before anybody else. The body of Moz on the ground in the distance. And leaning over them, bleeding heavily, you see another creature. As you're approaching, you see the bronze jackal kind of roll off of Moz's body, and he is just bleeding horrendously. Bonesaw, you hear ragged breathing in the distance.
I'm going to run off in that direction, and at the end of a full move, it'll occur to me to yell out, Bonesaw, Moz is down over here!
Why didn't you say so? He sort of kicks badly at like he doesn't quite know how to. Go, damn it!
Where's the go button? this thing.
Sheriff Cat, who is out of breath and is running up, says, alrighty. Okay, I'll be right there.
Is the bronze jackal still there when we get there?
Very much so.
What? Get the fuck away from my friend! Bonesaw's gonna go kick him away from Moz's body.
Rolls away.
What have you done to him? Mozzarella! No! Scoops him up.
You do see the bronze jackal is just covered in blood, and half of their blood is this, like, your normal red, but all of the cuts and bruises and wounds on the bronze area of the head appear to be this goldish fluid. It appears to be molten gold. They are bleeding profusely, and they don't fight you as you approach, though they do have a gun in their hand. One of the barrels is just blown out, though.
I'm going to cure Moz.
Okay.
I have got to be just blitzing through all of your health supplies.
Bonesaw is on the verge of using his mask, which also harms undead, and at the last second he remembers Jasper's like right there and pulls out his wand instead, which does a little bit of healing at a time, and he just starts frantically whacking it like,
Smack, smack, smack.
you come back to me now!
I'm gonna lean over and whisper to Catalina while Bonesaw is doing this. Taking care of that little rat must be like trying to knit a sweater that somebody just keeps raveling and raveling and raveling.
He better have a damn good explanation of why he's out here, otherwise I might drag him into a jail cell myself.
You guys take care of Moz. I'm gonna go back and see if I can read anything back there. And I'm gonna head back towards the fracas, or fracas as we say in the West.
That'll be good.
That'll go.
Thanks. We gotta quit meeting like this, Bones.
Mozzarella, what did he do to you? Did he make you make a fake lock and then bust him out of prison and probably set fire to the tower? And what have you been going through? You could have come to me, Moz.
What are you talking about, Bones?
Oh, Jesse, getting out of prison.
You mean he got away?
Well, he's not here.
He couldn't have gone far. He's out of horse. He's nearby, I guarantee it.
We did catch his accomplice, though. He was just going to finish you off when we arrived.
Accomplice? You mean... No. He's a friend. You might want to help him up, too.
Sorry for kicking you. Bonesaw will go over and start healing him, too.
The bronze jackal is full out, like, unconscious and bleeding out at this point.
Nothing a little wand can't fix.
Is, Sheriff Cat in earshot now?
Yeah, she is approaching, and she has her gun leveled.
At who?
Not at anybody, but is, like, holding it in a ready position. Jasper, what are you looking at?
Oh, well, first of all, as I leave the main group, I'm going to tell Smokey, guard. And then I'm going to go back to where the brouhaha occurred, and I am going to attempt to read the tracks to see if I can figure out what happened in advance of Moz's version of events.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And see if, since Jesse isn't here, try and figure out what happened to Jesse.
Okay, go ahead and roll a survival check for me. 28, you're able to get a pretty good idea of what went down. That basically, Jesse was on foot, the horse ran him down after a bit of time. There was a big shoot 'em up, and it looks like Moz definitely took the worst of the initial fight. And then it became essentially a duel between the bronze jackal and Jesse. And from what you can tell, Jesse probably shot Moz while he was down, and also shot the bronze jackal in a way that caused like a bleeding wound. And basically it would have been such that bronze jackal had to either take down Jesse or save Moz. And Jesse, you see, is running towards the northeast now, which you know is getting close to the Rio Grande River.
Well, looks like 3, maybe 4 shots on Moz. God bless it. Those blood spatters are just too small and tight. He must have been on the ground. These were like point blank. That sumbitch. Moz, what the hell were you thinking? Looks like Jesse. Alright, get your game face on. Well, looks like there was indeed an altercation over this way. Looks like Jesse headed off towards that direction. I reckon he's headed for the Rio Grande, or at least in that direction. He's on foot, though, 'cause it looks like there's a blowed-up horse over here. Ain't much left of it.
If we move out now, we might be able to still catch him.
No. I need to hear right here and right now why you possibly thought that it was a good idea to give me a fake lock, and why you thought breaking him out would have been a good idea.
I told you he didn't do that!
I don't know what you mean there, Sheriff.
See?
I gave you a lock that was right on your desk. And when I saw the fires cropping up, my first instinct was to run to where that Jesse no-good Blackburn is hiding, because I knew it was a ruse.
What a hero!
Roll bluff. This is honestly for Bonesaw more than it is Sheriff Cat, because she actually saw all this.
Yeah. No.
I'd like to get in on that as well.
Holy shit!
Oh my god.
Of course. Of fucking course.
As I was saying, I saw some gnolls employed by the Blackburns setting some buildings ablaze, and while I knew the town would be able to capture this here Jesse Blackburn, the town was certainly not up for the task of running him down, which yours truly, along with my brave companion here, the Golden Jackal, were able to do almost before he got away.
It's, no, it doesn't need to.
Be silent, my beautiful companion. You are too injured to speak.
Jasper is sitting in the background, trying to mentally make sure that this jibes with every track he's read, the timeline of events. I can't find any holes in that story.
Yeah, Sheriff Cat just is grinding her teeth. Like, she knows. She held the bluff now does not negate the fact that she felt the lock and all of that.
It could have been a fake lock that was already in her supply.
Yeah.
The only thing that Moz can really get out of, as maybe it was planted there.
Yeah. She frowns and says, and we're gonna have words too, and she points at the Bronze Jackal. And Bronze Jackal just looks and says, that's not going to happen. You don't get to decide this! You're a member of this too, and you don't... The Bronze Jackal just throws down a smoke bomb.
I was expecting the sheriff to just kind of turn around, and when they turn back, he's not there anymore.
And Sheriff Cat just throws up her hands and says, are you fucking
Now, if you would excuse me, we have a fugitive to catch.
Moz, you brave soul! Shot in the line of duty! We all owe you a debt!
Alright, go. See if you
Oh my
can find
goodness.
him.
Oh, good God.
Whoever is going to be trying to chase after Jesse, roll a survival check.
I'll volunteer for that.
Yeah.
I'll come along as muscle.
Moz will come around as the brains.
31.
Sheriff, are you coming or are you going back to town?
I'm coming along. I'm going to make sure that damn Jesse doesn't get away.
Well, if that's the case, I'm sending Goiter back for Myra, just so she knows where... I'll write a note! Bonesaw pulls out a paper real quick and says, "Gone to catch Jesse with Sheriff Cat. You can come if you want, but if not, sleep well." He does a little heart.
Aw.
What's Myra been up to?
Is the mayor still kind of walking around?
Oh, absolutely. Shouting orders and but it's all of that, very useless of, get more water on that when somebody's tossing water on it.
Do better!
Myra is going to wait until most people are busy with a thing and nobody is watching, and she is going to grab that pudgy bastard by the neck collar.
Yes!
And she's going to drag him down an alleyway and put her hand over his mouth and shove him up against the wall. and she's gonna have some words with Mr. Mayor.
It's time for snake law.
Snake law.
It turns out we're all badass vigilantes, just not when we're with each other.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just fuck the law.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna have you roll for that because he is super fucking weak and he's not a fighter by any means. You're able to grab him and just like, no, please, don't. I can pay you. I have money. I have lots of money.
She pulls out her rifle and sticks it underneath his chin. And she says, I know where you get your money. And I know what you've been doing. She doesn't really know what he's been doing in particular, but she's going to play it off like she knows more than she does. Are you willing to risk your own neck for Jesse Blackburn?
Make an intimidate check for me.
Yes. I want him to basically abandon Jesse. Like, he can still do whatever with money or whatever. I don't care at that point, but... Oh, it's 11. Not very good.
11? You definitely get at least a +3 bonus.
Okay, a gun bonus.
And he says, I don't... Those are a lot of big accusations you're making about bribery, man, that I don't think that you should be making, especially against the mayor of this town. What do you say? We just all relax and put down our guns and...
You know that you're under Jesse. You know you're under the Blackburn Beef Company. You know that you're not really a mayor of this town. I'm going to give you some advice. This may be a money-making business for you, but I as sure as hell will make sure that whatever money you get is not going to be worth it. And trust me, there are many, many other ways to be wealthy and powerful without having to rely on a shit stick like Jesse Blackburn. I don't care what you do. You can crawl up in a hole and die for all I care. Or you can go live in a fancy mansion. Do whatever you want. But you need to cut ties with Jesse Blackburn. I don't care if you still are tied with the Blackburn Company, but you better disown Jesse and to the town. Or we're going to take all this evidence, show it to the town, and we're going to make sure that you never get elected.
Give me one more intimidate check with a +4 bonus. That's a 23. Myra, you get the sense, while he is a tough guy...
He just wants money.
Yeah, he just wants money. And easy money is better for him than hard money. And right now, you have made Jesse very hard money. He says, Jesse, that asshole has been looking for getting out of this town for plenty of time, and I think that you're absolutely correct. Jesse will no longer be welcome in this town, I promise you that.
And if you really are stuck, you don't necessarily have to, as I said, cut ties with the Blackburns. You just need to cut your ties with Jesse.
Yeah, of course, yeah. We'll talk with his lawyer when he arrives tomorrow, and everything will be fine. It'll be fine. We'll be fine. We're all friends here. We're all friends just trying to make a buck, right?
Good. That way you can keep doing whatever slimy thing you're doing, and Jesse no longer has to be a problem for anybody.
Right. That's what we like. No problems.
She slowly lowers her gun and has, if snakes could smile, I think she just kind of looks dead in his eyes and goes, I'm glad we have an understanding. She puts her rifle away and she says, have a good night, Mayor.
You too. Good night. He runs away. After a little bit of time, you find a cattle train that has been moving north. And in fact, it's the same cattle train that you guys came across several days ago when you were traveling. As you approach, you see a couple of the centaurs that were right in there approach. What can we do for you this evening?
We are on the trail of a no-count varmint who's wanted on attempted murder, theft, possibly arson, and a couple of other assault with a deadly weapon. A lot of things.
Ah,
You seen a fella come this way? Elf, skinny fella, had a real creepy smile on his face.
He's wearing purple and he's terribly ugly.
roll perception. Anybody who's there.
I'm getting that 20.
Hey.
Nice.
Okay, everybody sees this, that the centaurs, something that you hadn't noticed before, are all wearing purple.
Jesus.
Shit.
Do you mean that these cattle drovers are somehow in league with the Blackburn Cattle Company?
Bonesaw, you in particular notice a slight smell of ozone.
Would I know what that is?
Make a knowledge arcana or a spellcraft check.
13.
Means nothing to you.
Bonesaw will sort of bend down and behind a hand say, "Do you smell ozone? Or is that just cow farts?"
No, that would be methane. You get ozone after a lightning strike.
You're so smart, Jasper. You know so many cool things.
Do I smell ozone?
Now that it has been pointed out, you detect a small whiff of it.
I think you might be right. Should I do a spellcraft?
Spellcraft or knowledge arcana. Sheriff Catalina is expanding on what you all said and said, looking for Jesse Blackburn. He came through here.
Fuck.
Fairly certain. And Moz, you recognize what that smell probably is, especially considering that the trail kind of ended here. Probably a teleport scroll.
God damn it.
Come on, guys. Let's go back to perdition.
We haven't caught Jesse yet.
And we're not gonna catch him here. He's gone.
What do you mean he's gone?
Smells like somebody knows how to teleport.
God damn it.
Is that ozone smell you was talking about?
Yup.
Some sort of teleportation thing?
My nose doesn't lie.
Well, your nose doesn't, that's for sure.
The centaur who's standing in front of you is looking a little uncomfortable and says, "You're gonna move along. I don't want you to worry the cattle, if you don't mind."
How many of them are there?
There's only this one that appears to be on staff right now. The others are in a camp some distance away. He appears to be the one that's on guard.
Interesting.
Son, I want you to think carefully before you answer this next question, realizing that you are talking to a county sheriff and several deputized officers of the law. Have you seen Jesse Blackburn?
And also a second smaller sheriff who's a frog.
Moz is gonna pull the sheriff out of his pocket.
Sorry.
I'm willing to roll that intimidation at disadvantage now.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Go ahead and roll an intimidate or a diplomacy check.
Let's see
Either
which
one.
has better. Oh, let's go with the intimidate.
Oh,
9. I rolled a nat 2.
He looks around and says, "On account of me wanting to keep my job, I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to tell you if I saw anything or not, or if he used the company's emergency teleport scroll to get out of here."
You know what? That's fine. But perhaps for a couple of dollars, Bonesaw will pull out some money. You could tell us if there's a second scroll on you or in your camp.
How much are you offering him?
$5.
He takes the $5 bill, stuffs it in his bag, and says, "Nah, we only have the one in case something happens with the cattle and we need to get out. Short range. You ain't going very far with it, but..."
Oh, really?
Does it have a set destination? Keep in mind, we're talking about a hypothetical scroll here, which is probably on record somewhere.
Yes.
Oh no, we're just talking, business. This is how business works. If one of us got hurt and we needed to get around town, and one of us was hurt and we needed to escape, it usually targets the nearest large place of civilization, which from here, and he looks up at the sky and considers, I think would be Albuquerque.
Well, look who's a good font of information, yes. Thank you.
I don't know what you're talking about. I just want my job, and Jesse Blackburn is a wonderful boss who's never done anything to me or my family, and you didn't hear anything from me.
Well, then you also didn't hear from us that he's going to get it when we get up to him, so...
Well, this is taking a real left turn.
How far is Albuquerque from us?
It's about a day's ride.
Great.
It's only a couple of hours by train.
Is it possible to get a train ride from Perdition to Albuquerque?
Yes, but from what you know, trains only come about twice a week to Perdition.
Well, either way, we need to rest. We need to sleep. We need to get our magic back together. We need supplies. We don't know where he is in Albuquerque. Perhaps Catalina, do you have any contacts there? You could send a quick telegram or something just to get them, I don't know, beating the bushes until we can catch up.
Sheriff Cat just looks exhausted and says, yes, I'll contact the Rangers. We'll put out a warrant for his arrest. If it's any consolation, there's more than enough evidence at this point. I'll be able to take care of it and actually make him an outlaw. But it's going to take me some time to run down and see if I can track him down. You all, if you have anything that you need to do for the next week or so, feel free to go around.
I know some Apache kids who are in desperate need of smallpox inoculations. I'll tell you all about it on the way back.
Also, I'm trying to sell an exotic plant. Where might one do that?
An exotic plant? What?
Maybe it's not the time.
No, it's very much not the time.
Hustling.
I mean, if you really wanted to and you were really gung-ho about knowing it right this second, you could talk to Arcanium Industries. Farmers Collective might be interested. The Doc might want it, but...
The Doc?
I mean, it depends on what... Yeah, Doc Vivian. She's the vet in town.
Oh, interesting. All right.
Myra, as you're getting ready to head to bed, Goiter flops up to you and just like lands right on your tail.
Oh, gross, Goiter.
You're gonna have nice dreams.
Goiter bleh, spits a note onto the ground. It is wet and just nasty.
Oh, a present. Thanks, Goiter. She picks it down and unfolds the note and reads it.
It is very waterlogged.
Yeah.
Roll linguistics check.
Interesting. It's a natural one.
That one!
Oh, dear God.
Oh my god.
She can't read it at all. She's tired.
The only thing that survived was the very last bit, like, sleep well part.
Yeah.
So I think she does just that. She's like, well, okay. I don't know why they... Weird message. But okay. And I think she just drops it on the ground and gingerly picks up Goiter and says, thank you. You can go back to Bonesaw. And she very tiredly goes upstairs to sleep. She has no idea any of this just transpired.
Yeah.
You guys all come in, Moz is like half dead, and Myra's just sleeping soundly in bed.
Moz is absolutely chipper now, but I think I've almost died on 3 separate occasions tonight.
Yeah. It's been a long night for you guys.
Moz couldn't sleep for about a week.
You all eventually arrive back. Sheriff Catalina offers to up the reward for getting the inoculations to the Apache and says if you need support in that, she can help with that, give you whatever you guys need. If you need, like, authority or whatever to go into the area, she's willing to offer that.
That would be helpful.
Y'all return and go to sleep. It has been an eventful day. You've fought with Jesse a lot. You had a show. Myra got buried alive.
Moz died twice.
Almost 3 times.
Saw a friend of his, friend in quotes, and you finally return to the warm bed of Gray's Inn.
Yeah, right. And about 9 o'clock the next morning, Jasper's gonna wake up, take his boots off, and then go back to sleep.
When you all eventually wake up the next day, there is still a little bit of commotion going on in town. You know, there was a decent amount of fire, but it was all tamped down. The news of Jesse Blackburn has spread like wildfire, and honestly, even despite the fire, there is a lightness to the air.
Aww.
You guys have done something that, frankly, a lot of people thought would never happen. You have rid the town of somebody who had it under its boot for quite some time. And while Sheriff Cat gives Moz a bit of a stink eye, everyone else is treating you all well. It's gotten around that you guys were involved in helping out defeat Jesse, and it's being said that, Jesse's the one that started the fires, and, Jesse's been doing all of this stuff, and you guys have survived.
I'll support that version of events. Makes perfect sense.
So here's the thing. You guys completed a milestone that I didn't expect you to complete for quite some time, but it is still a milestone.
We get to level up?
Level up!
So you're leveling up.
Sweet.
Yes! Dust and Blood is a Rolling Path production featuring Corinne Hill as Myra Sting, Blake Alfson as our GM, Zach Parker as Moz Copernicus Pryor, Keith Curtis as Jasper Graves, and myself, Gail Parker as Bonesaw. Our theme song is Dust and Blood by Arne Parrott, and other music throughout this recording is provided by Kevin Macleod, Tabletop Audio, Dark Fantasy Studios, and the Desperados 3 original game soundtrack by Filippo Beck Peccoz. Transcripts, detailed sound credits, and more can be found on our website at DustAndBloodPod.com. You can follow us on X and Facebook at DustAndBloodPod, or support us through our Patreon at Dust and Blood, where you can join our community Discord and get perks like our behind-the-scenes discussion show, The Roundup. Thank you so much to all of our fans, people like Sleeve McDykel, 50 Sloths of Grey, Barbara, and Lego Queen BB. Dust and Blood releases on the 1st of every month, and our next episode is coming at you on October 1st. Content warnings can be found in every episode description, and we hope you enjoy exploring this fantasy western with us. Thanks for listening.
My eyes shoot open to the early morning sun. I feel that aching, pounding, poking of a bullet in my lungs. Skin is sealing, bones crushing. I feel that wretched ancient something drag me up to face that coward son of a gun. His face grows wide as he fumbles for his holster. I feel the lead pierce my shoulder, neck, and chest. I scream that I have died 100 times and lived 1,000 years, and I'll be damned if a boy like you's gonna be the best. Yes, I'll be damned if a boy like you's gonna be the best.
Is he a monk?
Nope.
Okay.
Just an asshole, alright?
Very slippery, well-lubed asshole.
Untouchable.
He's a bad asshole.
He's a badass.
As I was saying,
Of fucking course.
I want you to know I'm purposely stacking these emotional dominoes for a big fallout when we inevitably rip the rug out from under your lives.
I have to share a googly eye story
Yes.
now. And this is one that I do have photographic evidence for it, but I hesitate to post it because, again, not safe for work. When, not this dog, but the dog before was a puppy, he got locked into the craft room.
Oh no.
Poor little guy, and he just panicked and made a terrifying mess of it. It took hours to clean up.
Oh.
The next day, I'm taking my daughter to school. She's like in 1st or 2nd grade. And she's looking out in the yard and says, "Daddy, why does that poop have eyes?" There was a little dog poop that had about 10 googly eyes. And I have photographic evidence of it. But again, hesitate to post.
Oh, fuck, that's
Unreal.
funny.
It's unreal.